Welcome back to the Dap It Up podcast, the place for geeks of all creeds. This is your boy Gunnm,
And I'm Pete!
and I'm sure you've noticed that we're missing one of our co-hosts here, but you know what they say, the show must go on. It must go on.
I mean, especially when I'm the reason he's not here. He talked too wildly about 16. I had to handle him. Had to learn a lesson.
Had to give him the hands. But all right. But B, what's going on with you? What's been going on?
Well, you know, I'm busy as always. I feel like in my line of work, something is always on fire and burning to the ground, and I am the first responder fireman who shows up in his truck by himself. But somehow I managed to save the day. So it's been a stressful week for me for sure. Managing people is always hard, but
Yep.
I'm thankful for it. I'm trying to think of anything extra special, super special, awesome. Not a lot. I finally finished season 2 of Vinland and season, I guess it's 3 of Demon Slayer. So I'm caught up on those, but that's just in time for three of my biggest anime to all come out with their first episode in the same week. So I'm trying to decide which one is going to be like my weekly, and if I'm going to just wait until after I'm done with my weekly to start the other two, because that way it's all just out. But that's pretty much it for me. How about you, Gunnm?
Well, as far as me, same old. Been playing mostly Final Fantasy for this week, but yesterday, Trails in the Reverie came out. Game that me and Dray have definitely been looking forward to playing. So, one of my most anticipated games this year. People have been calling it like JRPG Jesus. So, yeah. So, it's like everybody seems to say it's one of the greatest JRPGs they've ever played. Like it's just god of JRPGs. So I'm that's what I'm expecting. I have high expectations, especially after 4.
It started to sound to me like the Trail series is something I can no longer simply ignore. I must take part as well.
It's a lot of games, and I'm not even caught up completely, but it's definitely rewarding. But other than that, work, management life, it is hard. I'll tell y'all, it's hard. Don't just step up to that shit just because the money look right. You gotta be mentally ready for it. But yeah, other than that, really not much. I'm trying to get back into Street Fighter, but yeah, other than that,
okay,
not much.
Cool.
So let's see. So games out this week. Let's see. Definitely gonna be cutting this because I didn't have it ready. Games out this week. So we have only see 2 games. So other than Trails in the Reverie. Wow. Yeah, not a lot. So you have Synapse, which is one of those PSVR 2 games. I mean, I didn't really care about it. I do recall this game being shown off at the Game Awards, I think it was, but I don't really care. And then Gylt, spelled Gylt.
Interesting.
Gylt. out July 6th.
You know what makes me sad is this would have been a week that we could have won. We could have won easily.
Yeah, he wanted, it would have only have been 3 choices.
Exactly. The odds were so in our favor.
But yeah, that's it. It's like July's gonna be relatively slow, which is good for me because it's playing games that I need to play.
I feel like I'm so thankful that July is going to be slow so I can catch my breath and just enjoy what I have already. This year has been a year where games has just turned on a fire hose of 10 out of 10s and just sprayed them into the crowd. And I'm tired, bro. My
Pretty
t-shirt
much.
is soaking wet with great games.
Pretty much. Like it's just like it just hasn't stopped. But thankfully, July and at least for me, most of August is gonna be pretty tame. I know you guys are
Most of
playing
August for me. Yeah,
I mean,
Baldur's Gate's
Baldur's
not
Gate
till
is
like
out.
the.
Let's see, Baldur's Gate's out August 3rd.
August? What? Oh shit, dude! That's like right around the corner.
That's beginning of the month.
Well, my whole August is booked solid then, because again, there's 153 freaking hours of just cinematics, dog.
Damn. Good luck with that. And
if Trails into Reverie is the JRPG of the century, friggin' Baldur's Gate 3 about to be the Western RPG of the century.
Yeah, because
my words.
Yeah, because the Trails games are infamous for their amount of dialogue. Like every NPC, whenever anything happens, like there's new dialogue.
Yeah,
and that's something I always love to do is just talk to every NPC. That's why it takes forever for me to beat those games. Like I talk to everyone. Because you'd be surprised, and some of them are really, really funny. But let's see. Since we only got 2 games out this week, I guess we may as well just go straight into the stories. I'll let you lead off with what's going on with Destiny and Diablo. It seems like they got new content coming.
So Destiny 2 launched Season of the Deep, and the only word I have for Destiny 2 right now is ugh. Because unfortunately, despite the fact that I was holding out hope that this would be the season where the seasonal model changed, where the way they told the story changed, it is not that season. So we have another season that is like every single season that came before it. Talk to NPC, get lore dump, go do activity that is unique to this season, which is usually incredibly simple in the same general layout. Fight three phase boss, rinse repeat ad nauseum until you want to die. So I'm greatly disappointed in Destiny 2. Lightfall has been the most absolutely dog water expansion in Destiny history. Honestly, I feel like even the smaller ones, because they were cheaper, like what was it, Shadowfall, Shadow something, the one that took place on the moon. That they had a lot of fucking nerve to charge $100 with all the seasonal content and the expansion for this to be what we got. I'm so incredibly skeptical of the final shape at this point, despite the fact it's supposed to be the ultimate chapter of the Dark versus Light saga. My hype has hit a whole time low after Witch Queen really drew me in and had me invested. So as far as live service games go, Destiny about to get dropped because number one, we got some real content coming for a real game right now, and that's Diablo 4. So season 1 of Diablo 4 launches July 20th. Before that, I think it's the 18th. We're gonna get the pre-patch to kind of give us some more features, give us some balance tweaks and whatnot. And with this season of the Malignant, there will be post-game story, apparently, just per the developers, the post game stories are more like side stories. They don't really necessarily affect the main narrative. But to get new content that takes place after the main campaign, we're getting new mechanics with the Hearts of the Malignant. So we've got malignant monsters, and you can perform a ritual to like steal their power and transfer it into something else. And that sounds like it'll be interesting. Supposedly, it's gonna make it so that you can make like Uber builds that are just disgusting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing just things beginning to melt, like up until you get into the higher stages of difficulty. Like I'm really excited to see where Destiny goes from here. Um, but in addition to all that, we've got our first season pass. Oh, it's not that season passes are bad intrinsically. It's not that there's a problem with them intrinsically, because in Diablo 4, I think the premium season pass is all the extra bonuses you get for it are cosmetics. So if you like cosmetics and you like horse armors and you know armor skins and weapon looks and things like that, that'll be really cool for you. But like I miss the days when some new content dropped for a game and it was free, like free maps from the developer. You know, Diablo 3's seasons were completely free, so all the cosmetics and horse armors and wings and pets you could get were just free for everyone. You just would complete the season, you would do the season journey, and you would get all the shit, and it wouldn't cost you anything. Now they want to pay. Everything in life is paywalled. You got to pay $50 for something that took a developer 5 minutes in some kind of editing tool to recolor.
Yeah,
Like it's
Bobby Kotick.
ridiculous.
Bobby Kotick wants his cut.
Bobby Kotick, bro. This merger. I don't care what needs to happen. I don't care what needs to get sold out of Activision, bro. This needs to happen for Blizzard's sake, because Microsoft,
Yeah,
hopefully, would do this less or tie it to Game Pass or something.
yeah. The Blizzard
Because
side
this
is
is
what I
just
care about the most too. Yeah.
because yeah, truthfully, no, I don't care about Call of Duty. It's been the same game for the last 20 years. Blizzard has so many properties that deserve so much more love than they're getting. It needs to happen. But something needs to change, because it doesn't seem like every week there's a new controversy with Blizzard in some fashion, in some whatever's going
Something.
on. It's
Yeah.
always something.
Yeah, there's always something. But it doesn't surprise me considering I was about to say something very inappropriate, but Bobby Kotick is at the head.
Yeah, the greedy little gremlin himself.
So
Mr. Call You and threaten to kill you, Bobby Kotick. How is he still the CEO? We will never know.
man, I really wish like they would get split up, like at least Activision and Blizzard, and Microsoft would
Please.
just take Blizzard. I would very much
Activision and
like that.
Blizzard should have never merged to begin with. That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Blizzard was doing way better by themselves.
Yeah, I agree. But speaking of Blizzard, I guess I'll segue into Overwatch 2 and that nonsense. More controversy.
Oh Lord.
So we got to see PvE. And through what I've seen and what the community is seeing, and the community's reception and my opinion of it, I think, don't get me wrong, I'm newer to the community. I haven't been around since Overwatch 1. But between what I've seen and everyone else has seen, I think we can all agree in consensus PvE doesn't look that great. I'll admit maybe there's a couple interesting things they're kind of doing, but it's nowhere near what, they promised back at BlizzCon, like back at 2019, which, don't get me wrong. I get, you had Ryan Kaplan leave, who, was the main one kind of spearheading everything. And then you had COVID, which didn't help. And, you have Bobby Suckadick, who, is breathing down these really just unrealistic expectations, trying to make one development team basically churn out like 2 games at the same time.
At the same time.
It's just not possible. That's
if
not
if
possible.
I'm honest with you, to me it feels like it's not. I don't blame the people working on the game for this.
It's
I
almost
don't
like they
blame
were
the
set up to
development studio
fail.
for this.
But
They were dead ass set up to fail, and I don't even think it was intentional. I just think that Activision's management is dog shit. Like straight up, they're just awful. Like they treat their workers terribly. They don't pay them very well. They live out. If you work for Blizzard, you live out in fucking Irvine, California. Like how can you afford to live there? Because I've been there. I've been. The Anaheim, Irvine area. It's expensive. It's very expensive. So when you're dealing with all these life stressors and you probably can't barely afford to eat ramen noodles every day, and you have a CS degree and you've spent years honing your craft, bro, this is insulting. And for them to expect them to turn out a PvE game fully realized in single player, and at the same and have the same team working on the multiplayer, the more competitive aspect, that is gonna fail every time. Every time. There's nothing you could possibly do to make that succeed. So I'm not surprised that they ultimately didn't. I'm very disappointed in Activision Blizzard, as I usually am. They've done very little right in the last several years.
So so basically we have like, I don't want to say completely, but somewhat half-baked version of the original PvE coming out.
Can we talk about how stupid the way they decided to monetize it was? For one, it's completely co-op, so you need to play it with other people. For two, if let's say you wanted to play with your friends all have to have purchased the exact same episode or whatever, exact same PvE segment to play through. In order for you to play with your friends. So it's like it's become this thing that'll end up splitting the player base as far as who can play it with who.
Not only this,
disgusting.
Not only that, there's 3 different chapters. And you can't buy them individually, so you can't just try one, see what it's like, and then, just be like, no, I don't like it. No, you gotta buy all 3 of them all together in a bundle, and it's $15. So it doesn't come with the battle pass like it should. It's just $15.
That's ridiculous.
Which is ridiculous. So you're paying, given it's $5 a chapter, but you're forced to pay for all 3, which I think is a little bit silly. And it's not bundled with the battle pass. So if you want everything, you want to experience everything that season, you have to pay for the battle pass, which, the battle pass price is, fair. It's $10. So you got to pay $10 with an additional $15 in order to get the full, like, dude, experience everything, for that season, which is a little bit ridiculous. It should be bundled with the battle pass, and you shouldn't even have to pay extra for it, especially considering how half-baked this PvE is, like, compared to the original vision for it. Like, it's just silly. So there's no talents, there's nothing. Like, you're just it's a campaign. It's a campaign. So I don't get the thought process behind it, like making people pay extra. So $15 for each for each like set of missions, and then you gotta wait not one, not two, but it seems like three seasons down the line for it to continue. So we gotta wait till season 9
That's so
to
stupid.
get a continuation of the story, which is
That you will
crazy.
also have to pay for.
That you exactly another
I mean,
$15.
I wouldn't have been opposed to paying for the campaign if it was what it was promised to be.
I
I
wouldn't
would
have
have paid
either.
for all of it.
No,
Like, just I would have been I'd have been fine with it because it's not like Overwatch 2 costed money off rip. Like, it's a free game. So if they would have, put all this together and it had been what it was supposed to be, they could have charged me full sticker price and I wouldn't have cared. But for them to be nickeling, diming us for something that isn't even like a quarter of what it was supposed to be is absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid.
yeah, it's so silly. You should look at the price of the skins in that game. It's
I
outrageous.
As much as people complained about loot boxes in Overwatch, the original, the
I
way they functioned was so much better and you got so much more for free. It was ridiculous. I have so many legendary skins that I definitely would not have if it had the same model in the original. Like I have so many legacy skins that I got just for playing the game and enjoying it.
I could never imagine paying $20
No.
for a singular skin.
No, I'm not doing it. Like, yeah,
$20.
it's just not happening. That's ridiculous.
$17 to $20. That's crazy.
Mm-mm.
All right. All right. Well, that's just disappointing me. Like at least the competitive aspect is still relatively on point in Overwatch too, and that's what I really care about. But other than that, so there is indeed a new PS5 model coming out.
Really?
So this came out actually during the Microsoft versus FTC court case.
Huh.
So this came out from Microsoft side, not so much, Sony, because they really didn't have anything to do with the case. But they had, I guess they had information expecting them to release some sort of like console revision about this holiday season. So about this holiday season this year, like they're expecting them to have some sort of console revision. So this console revision apparently will be the PS5 with the removable disk drive.
Okay.
So that's something that's been talked about and been expected to release for a long time now. Like for some years actually now. It feels like people have been talking about this thing for a year and a half, if not almost 2 years. Like almost since the damn original came out. So which makes sense to me. Cost effective.
Yeah.
Like it definitely saves cost versus like producing two different types of the same console. Digital and the one with the disk drive. So I get it. Smart move from Sony. Can't exactly knock them for it. I mean, yeah. So I'm interested to see if, the internals of it are any different.
I mean, I
But
don't know if this is supposed to be like their version of like the PS4 Pro or whatever.
I wouldn't think so, but it's possible.
It
It's
like
possible.
with how late Pro came out in the life cycle of the PS4, it definitely was not worth it to get one.
I'm trying to think, when did the Pro come out? Because the Pro came out. It was definitely out when Final Fantasy 15 came out, so that was about 2016.
Yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't say that late. So that's like 4 years before the release of the PS5.
Oh, really? It was 2016. I thought it came out when Seven Remake came out, or around then, or a little before
Mm,
that, maybe. No.
no,
Okay.
no, because that,
Then
that
maybe it
was,
wasn't. Maybe it wasn't so
yeah.
bad. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But I know that this console generation is supposed to end in like what? There's gonna be like I thought it was gonna be a 6-year cycle.
This might be a long one, honestly. So
Really?
we'll probably get pro versions of the current consoles. I'm not too sure what Microsoft is going to do because it seems like they don't intend to make like they don't have like a console refresh in mind anyway. So a pro version.
Yeah.
So
I feel. I
that'll
feel
be
like.
interesting.
I feel like Microsoft is kind of over the console war for the most part. Like they want to be
Yeah,
more of a platform. They just want you to be able to play like from their catalog on Xbox systems or on PC. Like they've become more system agnostic. I feel over time. But at this point, I feel like they're also on some fuck you Sony energy. So if they find out Sony's doing something like that, they'll do it just to spite them.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure it wouldn't take too much to just you know improve the RAM, improve I don't know, maybe update the current CPU that they have that they're using. I'm sure they could get like a more powerful version of it. I'm not too sure what they're using in the current gen consoles. I think they're using like the same I don't want to say the same CPU, but pretty similar. But but I don't know. Like we'll see though. Like this generation will be very interesting. Like it might end up being just as long as the last. So
Yeah,
we'll
good.
see.
Definitely good.
So we'll
Uh,
see. And let's see. So Final Fantasy 16 sales in Japan. After that first week, because the first week I believe they sold 300,000, which for a Final Fantasy game, that's not the greatest, but also not the worst too. Not not amazing, but and going into the second week, it had a really large dip off, and it went into about 36,000,
Mhm.
which is a pretty significant drop.
it
It,
absolutely is.
especially in their home country, like that's and
I,
there's not and you can't use the excuse that the people don't have PS5s available over there. Like there's more PS5s out over there at this time now
yeah.
than there were PS4s when Final
Oh wow,
Fantasy 15 came out,
that's crazy.
and it sold significantly less. So this just kind of like you know a telling of the times there of the relationship between Final Fantasy and the people of Japan and how they feel about it as
Well,
far
I
as
feel
like
like
the direction they're going. But go ahead.
yeah, I feel like what it likely is that Final Fantasy 16 is definitely more aimed at Western audiences. You can tell in the way that like the quality of the localization, the setting, the theme, the names of the characters, it's more geared towards Western audiences.
It
That's
definitely
probably why
is.
it saw a drop off.
It definitely is. There's a lot of Game of Thrones isms in there. So it's it's the way it's built up. It's just not done the same as, other Final Fantasy games, which to be fair, people like because I've heard a lot of people say like, this Final Fantasy is not like other Final Fantasies. Like, this is not my Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, you people need to realize Final Fantasy, no matter what game it is, it's never the same. It's
It
never
isn't.
done the same.
It truly isn't.
They always do something different every single game. There's something like they have like a design philosophy behind Final Fantasy, which is the take an extreme risk and try something new every single game. Like, they do something new every single game. No game is pretty much the same unless it's like 10 or
Old
10,
school.
like 10, 10, 2 or something.
So prior to
even
10,
then,
and even 10 has things that are different.
and
It
even then
has
they were
different
different.
mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say modern Final Fantasy. The previous Final Fantasies were all kind of similar. They all kind of had similar systems, but there were obviously evolutions and changes that are made. But since 10, there has not been like a single Final Fantasy game that has been exactly like the one before it. 13's combat system was different than 10's, and 12's combat system is completely unique to 12, and we've never seen them even attempt anything similar since then. So every game is them trying to do something new and make a new system that's appealing,
Like
and just kind of testing it out.
Like, and if you honestly look closely, like, not every single Final Fantasy game has like the same audience or the same, group of people that like it. Like, everyone likes like a different Final Fantasy for different reasons.
I agree.
Like Final Fantasy X is one of my favorites because it's closer to your traditional turn-based like RPG. Like, it's just, I think it's just cream of the crop as far as like, turn-based games.
It's one of the best of all times. You had like unique mechanics in certain fights where you had to damage like limbs or something and it affected the fight. You had to like target specific parts of the body sometimes. There were like certain fights that weren't like really fights you had to run away from. It's like the way that like one of the most iconic moments in Final Fantasy X for me is that battle against Ifrit, like in the middle
Yeah.
of the plane where there's the cliff, and you're like fighting him and he's slowly pushing you back. And while it's possible to beat him if you've been grinding your ass off and you're like you're as maxed out as you can be at that point in the game.
Yeah.
But otherwise he's gonna knock you into this fucking chasm. You have to come back up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all kinds of really cool, interesting, and unique encounters in 10.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And every Final Fantasy does something like, kind of unique, like something like that. Like every single game is different. Kind of like how kind of like how Final Fantasy 16 is basically a platinum game, but
Yeah.
every single one is different. Final Fantasy 7 remake, like, ooh man, I could go for days on that one.
Yeah, we could talk about the greatest Final Fantasy game of all time for a long time. What I
But
will say about 16 specifically when it comes to the combat is that initially I complained about the depth of the combat, and then I saw uh, a combo video that somebody put together, and it truly was a platinum combo. I'm like platinum level. There was several stance switches in it. It was like 150 hits or something. I'm like, bro. I wish that the challenge was there in the enemy types with regard to like their mechanics and how they worked. To make it feel like doing that is rewarding. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like the complexity in the combat and the combo system itself is there, but for the enemies and like how they function, like in the battle space, it isn't really worth it to even do it. Like if I get the same result mashing square that I could get pulling off a 150 hit combo, like what's how is that rewarding outside of like spectacle, like raw spectacle? Like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
look at this. Check out this combo.
But yeah. But yeah, I that is definitely something that I do like about it. Like, you know, you could just I think I said this last week. Like you could just press square to victory. Or you could do the most platinum shit ever, you know. Play the game like a Bayonetta game. And just
You really could.
do like just ridiculous ass extra shit.
Just for your own amusement.
Exactly.
Just completely style on your enemy.
Exactly. But you know, I get why, you know, going back to, you know, the sales thing as far as Japan, like I get it. You know, not everyone in Japan is really a fan of, you know, medieval like games.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Like, but also don't see people in Japan at least crying like Western Final Fantasy fans saying things like, this isn't Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You don't hear that. Like, because I feel like the Japanese more so understand, you know, every Final Fantasy game is just different.
And it may not be for you, and it might be for somebody else. Because I'm sure there's some people who would say this is their favorite, regardless.
And it might pull someone else into the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Which
this
is
game
only good for the series.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and for those who want their true my Final Fantasy experience, 7 Remake 2 will be coming out not too long from now.
Yeah. I might need to see this combo video that you was watching because I still feel like this game's a bad platinum game. But maybe it's just me.
You gotta watch it.
Maybe
you gotta watch it.
Maybe I'm not creative enough.
You haven't unlocked what I like to call the platinum stance.
I don't know. I've done a lot of like just bullshit in Bayonetta. I don't know.
You have not unlocked the platinum stance, is all I will say. You have not gotten there yet. You will get there, but you're not there just yet.
Alright, well, since we're on Final Fantasy 16, we may as well segue into our what you're playing / you know, final thoughts on the game, that kind of stuff. So I'll start. So I did start Trails in the Reverie. Didn't get far. I did play through the prologue though, which was the shortest prologue in any Trails game I gotta say I've ever done, which is great because they're all like just longer than they should. But I had a good time. Like this game is supposed to be like shorter than the others, relatively time wise, so that's a good thing. Because I will say, like, especially in Cold Steel 4, they added a lot of fluff in that game. There's just like extra content, like just for the sake of it. It felt like at some point. So good chance of pay. So I'm down for shorter in my JRPGs. So yeah, but other than that, Final Fantasy 16. I don't know if you're playing anything else.
So I am currently playing Diablo. I did start New Game Plus on 16, and I'm just, bro, I'll skip every cutscene now. I'm like, the story is the story. I already played it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more interested in the encounters and trying to craft the ultimate weapon and fighting like the harder versions of bosses. But so far, like, I feel like once you get to New Game Plus, the game kind of is what it was supposed to be to some extent. Not in the sense that like the RPG mechanics are there, but like the difficulty has scaled up to the point where there's actually some degree of challenge to it.
Like you have to actually use your brain.
You have to actually think about like, okay, do I want to start this like how like this ability frame locks me and I can take damage and get staggered. Like, when is the best time to use it? You have to kind of be more thoughtful about attack patterns from your enemies, because all your enemies have different attack patterns. So it's like, if I could have played the game like this from Jump Street, I probably would have a lot better I probably would have had a lot better of an initial experience. But now it's kind of tarnished because I'm no longer looking forward to the story because I've already done it. So it's like, the gameplay is way better, but now I don't care about the story. So it's like, why? Why was this the choice that was made? You should have put Final Fantasy mode on as an option at the beginning of the damn game. That should have been the way you designed it. It's called Final Fantasy mode.
Jesus Christ! Like, why? Why do
Bro, I'm like,
games,
this is stupid.
I hate games that do that. Like, just lock the harder difficulty after the first playthrough. Like, why?
Why?
Why do
like,
you do
let me
that?
play it. If I want to play it on Smash My Balls with a Hammer difficulty,
like,
bro, just let me do that.
Like fucking Trails doesn't do that. If you want to play on fucking Nightmare, you can play on fucking Nightmare from the beginning
Off
and
rip.
get fucked up.
Just get fucked up. Just learn your place in the world.
Exactly. Like, Jesus. Stop
Find out you're not
people.
good. You're not actually him. You are not built differently. Like
Just,
David in Cyberpunk.
Like Jesus, if people get fucked up on the hardest difficulty over and over, and then let them sweat, like tone it down.
Yeah.
Like, shit, don't just lock it behind the first playthrough. That's bullshit. God damn. Like, what's the point? Like, what is actually the point? I hate that so much.
Replay value, but if the thing that drives your game is its amazing story and cinematic presentation, then the game ain't gonna have much replay value anyway, because that's where you dumped all your development resources.
God
so
damn
it's like,
it. You already have my money.
Like, the only way to unlock
this game, you have my money. Just
you
give
have
me the
my
mode.
money, dog. Just give me all of it. The only way to unlock the Ultima weapon is to play through the game again. I'm like, this is the first Final Fantasy where that's ever been the case. You could always unlock Ultima just playing the game normally on your first playthrough.
Yeah, usually.
Usually, but no, you gotta play it again just to get Ultima. I'm like, that's dumb. I mean, I crafted the best sword in the game that you can get your first playthrough, but it wasn't Ultima.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanted to do. I had to, like, Google and be like, how do you get Ultima? And then I saw that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Man.
By the time I get Ultima, I won't even appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, I guess we may as well go into our thoughts on the game. So, like I said earlier, did I say that earlier? That, maybe. I'm definitely not as high on the game as I was last week. And while I do like the combat, it's just not the best version. It just feels like they could have done more with it. Maybe I'm just not creative enough. Because,
you know, the element.
I don't know. Like, when it comes to platinum games, I love, like, just comboing shit, like, into infinity. But I just don't feel like you could just do that, at least to the same degree, as, like, a Bayonetta game or a Devil May Cry. That's what I love doing in those games, like, comboing shit. Like, that's my thing.
Gunnm, I gotta say, you have not unlocked the platinum stance yet. That's all I can say without spoiling it.
I just don't have the third eye.
You don't have the third eye yet, but you will get it toward the very end of the game, or near the very end of the game. Because there's a continent that unlocks, and you will receive a new power. That power is platinum incarnate. Is basically what I would call it. It's every stupid ass combo you could possibly imagine uses this stance as one of its baselines.
Like, I already got the Bahamut shit. Like, what more is there? Spoilers?
Yeah, that's a spoiler, buddy. I can't do it to you. Just know that you will know it when you see. The same way I was like with the Bahamut fight. I'm like, this is the best icon battle in the game. Period.
honestly, I thought you were talking about the Titan, bruh.
Titan was really cool
That
too. I like
Titan
Titan
one,
a lot.
that Titan one was ridiculous. That was the most
I was
platinum
dope.
shit I have
It
ever
really
seen.
was. That
Like
shit was anime as fuck.
this is actually more ridiculous than some of the things I've seen in Bayonetta. Like it was so. I'm like, wait, hold on. I think I am playing a final. It's the icon fight that remind me. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely playing a Final Fantasy game.
You cut out.
Oh, it's definitely the icon fights. Like at times,
Yeah.
like it reminds me. Yeah, I'm playing a Final Fantasy game. Like this is a little bit definitely not grounded in reality.
No,
but
not at
but
all.
yes, but
The
you
Bahamut
know,
fight was just
not in
so
a bad way.
crazy.
Yeah, but the Bahamut fight, yes, the Bahamut fight was what?
Yeah, basically it was like, what the fuck?
Bahamut
Bro.
is woo man. Because Bahamut,
Cause
if people know me, Bahamut's one of my favorite summons. So I was very much looking forward to the Bahamut encounter. But man, that was crazy. That was
I don't
crazy.
even know how to talk about it because it was just so insane that my brain could barely process what happened in that fight. I'm still processing it now. I'm like, and then the fusion, bro, and the fucking space
Jesus.
battle, bro. I'm like,
The
if you told
space
me
battle? Oh my
Final Fantasy
goodness.
16 was gonna have a space battle like Battle of the Gods, bro, I would not have believed you. I was like, there's
I
no
was like,
fucking way.
it was like, what was the name of that last attack? It was like Zeta Flare? I was like, what?
Data flare, bro. It was the most powerful flare ever.
I was like, oh my God.
Because Zeta skills are the most powerful versions of skills.
I was like, man. Oh, that was just.
Bahamut was cooking.
I will say this though, I haven't gotten there yet. I am looking forward to the Odin fight for
I'll
sure.
be honest with you, the Odin fight, just so you're not disappointed the same way I was, is not everything you would think it would be. It almost feels like they kind of rushed it. No, I mean, not that you're not gonna fight Odin and King Barnabas.
I hope it's not a we're almost out of budget here, Phil.
It kind of feels that way a
Oh
little bit, where it's
no.
like we're almost out of budget. You know, there's only so much we could do with this fight. But you fight Barnabas multiple times, so it's like I think they did that because they spaced it out so much. Kind of like how you don't really have to fight Titan's like human form again after the castle.
Yeah.
Like it's like you fight him like periodically through the last act. So it's like by the time you finally get to him, it's like it's just end game for him. It's not a bad fight
Yeah.
though. It was enjoyable, but it's just
God
it's
damn
not
it.
everything I thought it would be.
Especially after Clive got his ass kicked twice. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, yeah, he absolutely fucking bodied Clive. It was so funny.
It's like, damn, and he did it twice.
Yup.
It kind of makes me kind of reminds me of that Alabasta in One Piece. That
Yup.
nigga
It
Luffy
was
got fucked up by Crocodile. I think he got fucked up 3 times.
he did. Crocodile was piecing him up.
So it's kind of giving me that vibe. It's like like Clive was kind of just getting away with everything. Like he was kind of just winning everything,
Hmm.
up to that
Like just
point.
easily.
So
Like
so
not
he
even
had
not
to.
even a question if he'd win.
Oh yeah, he had to be humbled at some point, which is good. But yeah, I'm definitely been enjoying a lot, especially when Bahamut like started going berserk and Sambrek.
Hmm.
Like at the Capitol, whatever the name of it is, Oriflame.
Yeah,
Um,
Oriflame.
Yeah, that was definitely a high point for me.
That whole segment was amazing to me. I loved it. I loved every minute, bro. When he fucking launched that spear at the kid, bro,
Oh yeah, I was
and,
like,
and his dad
shit.
jumped in front of it. He fucking died. I was so sad.
Yeah, I was, man. It was just this game, like the Game of Thronesisms.
Yeah.
Like you just, just
Can we
these
talk?
things you just don't expect.
Can we talk about Clive's mom and how much of a dumb bitch she is? Because it's literally all she is.
And
She's just a piece of shit. She has
and she
no
didn't
good
take
motivations either.
she took no responsibility for her crimes, and at the end just slit her
None.
throat. Like, man, uh
I was mad because I wanted to kill her. I'm like, dude, if anybody deserved to kill that woman, it was me, not Rox or her slitting her throat, bro. I should have been the one. I should have just fucking impaled her ass on my sword.
God damn it. I know.
One thing I do regret about that plot point is I wanted there to be a real, like a truthfully good reason why she did what she did, or at least something to explain why she was the way she was, but we never really got to find that out. It just basically boiled down to she just wanted her kids to be important.
To be pure. Be
Be
pure,
pure.
pure noble blood.
It is highly ironic that she gave fucking Clive all this shit, but he's mythos. He's like he's beyond Phoenix. Like in his importance. Like he's one of the most important people to ever exist on the planet.
Yeah. So it was yeah, that all of that very interesting. I already talked about the Titan fight. That was man, I love that. Love that Titan fight.
So good. That Titan fight was
That
amazing.
was I can't like in these icon battles, man. I swear.
My man
I can't
is the world's biggest simp though. Benedicta!
pretty much. Pretty much. Like you have like a fucking railgun shooter. Like at one point it's a railgun shooter.
Yup.
At one point you're fighting in space. At one point you're falling into a chasm and just beating the shit out of each like
If you'd have
like
told
this
me
game.
If you'd have told me any of this shit was gonna happen, bro, a year ago, I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like these leaks have to be fake.
Oh my god! If people had told me like even half the shit that was gonna happen in this game, I wouldn't have believed though.
There's
But
no way I would have believed them. Like this game, no way, man. That's nuts.
like it really does feel like just giant kaiju battles, but with a twist.
I mean,
It's
hey,
crazy.
could be worse.
But hey, I'm all here for it. Like honestly,
3000% here for it, dog. It's been great.
but looking forward to this third encounter with Odin. Whatever happens beyond that, like, because I know I don't got that much more game left. I'm thinking about a fifth of the way. I actually didn't realize there's like on your PS5 it tells you how much progress you have.
Yeah, like how much further you have to go.
Yeah. So I'm at I think it said the 20% mark. So I got a fifth of the game left. So it's not that much.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So
Who is the best girl of this iteration of Final Fantasy?
the best girl.
Best girl.
Best girl. Well, I do like Jill a lot.
Jill is great. It's not a. I wouldn't. There's no wrong answers except for Clive's mom.
Let's see. I do.
She's worst girl.
I think I just have ironically, I think this is just a sickness. I do like Tarja.
Yeah. Hardy's pretty great.
I have a thing for doctors for
She's
some
pretty great.
reason.
I like her a lot too. I like the girl by the table, like who explains like the lore of what's going on. And then I love Mid. Mid is great.
Oh yeah, Mid, of course.
I'm like,
Mid.
damn. They named her Mid, but she ain't Mid. That's a
She
lie.
ain't mid at all. No, absolutely not. But yeah, she's cool too. I'm trying to think who
You
else.
know, because I didn't do the side quests where you like found out about Mid, she just showed up. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, who knows
They
you, bro?
they mention her in the story.
Do they? Maybe I
There,
just wasn't
there
paying
was
attention when
only
she was mentioned initially.
they only referenced her once, but
Yeah,
she
that's
was
what it
referenced
was.
once.
That's what it was. Is she was referenced a single time, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she was referenced once, and it was like basically in passing.
Yeah.
I forgot the context in which they even mentioned her, but they mentioned her once. Let's see. Oh, oh God, I have to talk about this one, Isabel.
Mm.
I do like her.
Isabel
Yeah, from the Veil.
from the Veil. I don't know why. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, she bad.
Every single time I was streaming this game, I'm like, dog.
Bro, I
I
couldn't
have
believe.
never seen a girl in any game that has been so thirsty and wanted someone's dick so bad. She wanted Clive's dick so bad.
Oh my
I
god, yeah.
swear.
That's so funny.
Like it is constant too. It's that too, is that it's constant.
I also noticed the day, bro. She was thirsting so incredibly hard. She's like, "How about I?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm good actually." Everybody's like, "She lets you call her first name?" He's like, "Yeah, is that no? Is that not normal?" They're like, "No." She was hitting that boy with the hungry eyes every time he came in.
She's like, one day I'm gonna fuck that nigga.
I'm gonna take it if I have to, bro. She was just like giving me like just the vibes, like she was down to do whatever it took.
Yeah. But yeah, she's a cool character too.
I liked her. I liked to. There's very few characters I'd be like I didn't really like them,
Yeah.
or they didn't make much of an impression on me. Like I feel like the character writing was really strong in this game.
It definitely was. So other than that, anything else you want to say about Final Fantasy 16?
I will try to have beaten it twice by the time both of you beat it, so I can give an overview of like what my experience was playing through Final Fantasy mode.
Well,
But other than that, like one thing I did notice is that like because all your gear carries over, you think like okay, well I have all the best gear, like the game, like what more can I get? But you actually get upgrades in Final Fantasy mode when you replay it. So like if
ooh,
you have like an iron sword, you get iron sword like tier 5. Like they're upgrades for all of your equipment. So
huh.
you do have to continue to gear as you play through it again. Which I did appreciate. I do appreciate that as a function of the game.
Something I didn't know you could do. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I didn't know until like almost more than halfway through the game you could reinforce your weapons. At least the non-unique
Really?
ones. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think they
I
explained
knew
that
you
to
could do
you.
that.
I don't think they explained that you could
Yeah, they
reinforce
explained
them.
that you
Did they?
can.
Maybe I'm an idiot.
Yeah, they explained it in the tutorial that you could reinforce things. That's crazy you didn't know that.
Maybe I just forgot about it.
Not like you need to, because nothing in the game is hard, at least
It
initially.
definitely is not, but I like having the strongest everything.
Well, yeah, it means I have to spend less time pressing square.
Exactly.
That kind of concludes my thoughts on Final Fantasy. Overall, story was really good. I I'm kind of hit or miss on the ending. I'll discuss it more next week. And
Okay.
I kind of want to see what you guys have to say because some people are more likely to appreciate the ending than me, and I want to see if maybe you guys are, or maybe y'all are feeling what I'm feeling about it.
So, closing thoughts, at least for me. I really love the story, at least definitely up to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an incredible ride. Combat, kind of, I'm still kind of, not too sure about it. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have everything,
You
so
sure don't, buddy. Wait till you get your stance, bro. The platinum stance might change your mind a little bit. Adds a bit of depth.
we'll see. So we'll see. Maybe this nuts power I get, definitely. Because I am liking the Bahamut one. I do like the Bahamut one a lot. I like
Bahamut's good.
because I'm just a Bahamut fanboy. I love Mega Flare. Love Mega
The
Flare.
Bahamut stance, the only thing I can say about the Bahamut stance is I hate that it's tied to a dodge and that you move so slow in it.
Uh I
Like I use
mean,
Bahamut in my setup, but I mastered his ultimate and I use it as part of a different stance altogether because Bahamut is not. Well, Bahamut is a really strong stance. Like he does a fuck ton of damage if you're in a combat where like you have the opportunity to dodge a lot. But
hmm.
outside of that, it's not very useful.
Oh yeah, like I just like that. If I'm fighting like a huge mob, I could just rain death.
Yeah,
Literally.
true. For just raining death on your opponent. I do like Bahamut's stance a lot. His ultimate is the strongest ultimate in the game.
Is it?
Like bar none. It is, yeah. His ultimate, once you fully upgraded it and got it up, is the strongest in the game. Period. So I use that ability almost exclusively when I've staggered a heavier foe, like a mini boss or a boss. Like I have a whole combo that I use to like lay on the damage. It's basically like an MMO rotation at this point, the way I use my abilities.
All right, I'm gonna fully upgrade it. I expect to see health bars melt.
Oh, they do. You gotta get them in stagger first, though. Otherwise, it's
Exactly.
not at its
Yeah.
true power. So you gotta maximize. What you do, it's the strongest when you maximize it. So you want to get your multiplier for damage to cap, and
Yeah.
then you want to smash it. So you want to use either another ultimate, like uh, I don't know if you have this one yet. Have you fought Barnabas on a ship?
Yeah.
So you do. Oh yeah, you do have Shiva then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Shiva ultimate, if you save it for when they first go into stagger, it'll build their damage like multiplier up to like 130 just by using that by itself.
Hmm.
And then you can either switch to like Titan's Punch, which is the highest normal skill single target damage in the entire game. Uh, and that'll do a bunch of damage. And then you finish with the Giga Flare, and you will just see their whole like you can get somebody down like to half health just doing that.
All right. Okay. Because I do use that Titan one and that single target ability. Oh shit, those shit's broken.
There's something that feels good when somebody pulls up on you and you cock the fist back and you just blast them
Yes.
into
Just.
oblivion.
Yep.
Gives you that gum feeling, bro.
Oh man. But all right. Well, feel like talking about a little bit of anime
Yeah,
stuff
let's
you're
do
looking
it.
forward to.
So we, like you said earlier before we started the podcast, Mushoku Tensei came out. We got Bleach coming out today, new season. We got Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 having launched yesterday. Anime fans are absolutely eating right now.
Rurouni Kitchen is out.
Rurouni Kenshin is that, bro? Anime. Is it the remake?
Yeah.
Oh, anime fans are fucking eating, bro. We were feasting.
Let's see. So in 4 days, if you guys watch the original, Devil is a part-timer, season 2.
Oh, really? They're finishing it up?
I don't know
'Cause I
about
watched the first
finishing.
half.
I don't know about finishing.
I mean, for season 2,
But
because I
yeah.
watched the first half and they kind of took a mid-season.
Yeah. So okay. So there's a lot. There is definitely a lot. Well, outside of those, like those seem to be the main ones this season to look out for.
Yeah.
At least that I see.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much else. Demon Slayer. I just finished Demon Slayer season 1 and Vinland Saga season 2, or not season 1, season 3, and then Vinland Saga season 2. And Vinland Saga season 2 is some of the best anime I've ever seen. It's fantastic. A lot of people complain about the first few episodes. They're like really slow.
Yeah,
this, that, and
I've
the
heard
other.
that. Yeah, but it's like
it's like a masterpiece season. Period.
Yeah, it's like an ongoing story. Like, sometimes, you're going to have seasons where, niggas ain't boxing. So,
Niggas ain't boxing. But it's like the story has become more than that. Like the story is not about niggas boxing being awesome and cool.
Yeah.
Like it's to show the brutality of it now that, Thorfinn and, as a connection to that, the audience has seen what the effects are on him from when he was doing that. Have seen like what the ramifications are of just pointless, needless violence. Like that's the story that Vinland Saga is trying to tell. And it's like obviously they hook you in the first season with really awesome fights and like Thorkel and Thorfinn just murking niggas. Like they seem really cool at the time. Askeladd, they seem super cool at the time, but once you have to sit there and deal with the ramifications and how all of that violence affected the character and how he literally wakes up every morning screaming.
Yeah.
Like PTSD. You start to realize that all that shit was not as hot as you thought it was, and that Thor's really was right. Like the whole reason Thor's left all that shit behind was because he recognized that it was wrong to do that. Like you kind of see Thorfinn starting to understand what his father meant when he was talking about what a true warrior was.
Yeah.
But man, I could talk about Vinland forever. That show is just a masterpiece.
And I need to watch that. That's for sure. There's definitely
the season 3 of Demon Slayer was okay. It was good. Yeah. People complained about it, but it was decent. They're like, it's a training arc. I'm like, okay, it's a shonen. Like, you're gonna have seasons that are training arcs.
Oh yeah, Demon Slayer. It was fire, especially in the ending. Almost got me too. Almost got me.
Me too.
Almost.
It was sad initially.
Almost. But
I've read some bits of the manga, so it's like I knew what was gonna happen, so it didn't hit me the same way as it would have if I truly didn't know.
So, but yeah, there's a lot coming out this season. Definitely, like, pick your poison. Like, I'm definitely gonna be watching Mushoku Tensei now that I know that's out. And
hundos.
And episode 2 is out tomorrow, so yeah.
I'm excited. I'm probably gonna go watch all my anime and get caught up as soon as this is over.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Rudius go through his
Rudiger.
Not to spoil anything, but go through his what should I call it? You'll see. It's hilarious. Just know this season. Just know this season's gonna be hilarious.
I'm glad.
I've read a little bit of the light novel. I need to continue it.
What I do like about Mushoku Tensei is that it is the perfect blend of like serious and comedy, just raw comedy.
Yeah, it's the
It's kind
original.
of it's almost like I wouldn't say it's like Gintama where it's like it's kind of a spoof
Yeah.
half the time and then it's serious every once in a while. Like
Mm,
it's like it's more blended than that, and I really appreciate it. Even though the show is incredibly thirsty.
yeah, it is the series that made that, for better or worse, created the current isekai climate that we have now, unfortunately
Yeah,
and
it is the
fortunately.
isekai. I think it's the best isekai other than Konosuba, arguably, which is more of a
Yeah,
straight comedy
yeah,
series.
yeah.
But
I love
those
Konosuba.
two are those two stand on top as kings. Well,
I
Overlord I'll
don't,
put just under those, but
I don't think you actually know. Like me and so I actually took Dray out to watch the
yeah.
Konosuba movie, and that was his first
Oh, did
exposure
you?
to it. Yeah,
That's funny.
and he
I
got
didn't know
into it
that.
after
No.
that.
Yeah, Konosuba's the goat. Me and my girlfriend used to watch that before bed like all the time. Like if we don't know what else to watch before we go to bed, we'll just throw on an episode of Konosuba.
I mean, why not? It's great.
Her favorite character is
Hilarious.
Darkness.
Of course. Of course.
Drag me behind the cart. Darkness is just pure hilarity all the
I know.
time.
I
She's
know.
so
She's
incredibly
just
She's so down bad at all times, bro.
pretty much.
Immediately down bad.
I love her, man. I love her.
Lalatina.
Everyone loves Mega Man, but I'm a Darkness man.
I don't dislike Megamine.
No, I don't either.
She's fun. She's a
But
fun little Chinibio, but
yeah. But
well,
all right. Anything else anime related?
no, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I think that definitely about wraps it up. Well, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, at Beatdown. Eventually, you'll be able to find me on Kick and Rumble as well. I'm looking at branching out into new avenues, as it seems that YouTube and Twitch are kind of. I'm not gonna say they're on their way out just yet, but things are starting. The foundation definitely has some cracks in it.
On YouTube?
Yes. Yeah,
Mm.
people are getting tired of YouTube. They're getting tired of being jerked around. They're getting tired of being demonetized. They're just getting tired of the general policy here. If
Mm.
there if Rumble was more successful and it was larger, people would have already left it. Like I feel like Twitch is in a much worse state than YouTube is. Like Twitch is like a hot 5 minutes
Twitch,
or like 3 more contract signings with Kick from being done.
Twitch
But
is just hot garbage, but
it's
yeah.
hot garbage. There's no reason to not be on Kick. But
But
where can they find you, Gunnm?
well, you can find me on Threads. So
Threads? What's Threads?
Threads is apparently the new up and coming Twitter killer because Elon Musk is a fucking idiot.
Oh,
So I do have myself an account on there. So, if you guys want to follow me there, you can follow me at Gunnm921. So
Gunnm 921.
so I am on Threads. So if the website does indeed, start to pop off, I'm there.
Awesome.
And you guys know the socials. So Twitch, twitch.tv/Gunnm21, Tumblr, Gunnm.tumblr.com, and then what's the last one? Twitter, Twitch, too many. And then YouTube. So
Of course.
youtube.com/Gunnm921. But yeah, I mean, if people are so inclined and really care, I'll link the threads down in the description. But
Excellent.
yeah, so that's a Dap It Up podcast, and remember, go play some Final Fantasy and watch some anime.
Watch some anime. Yeah, you're eating. You're eating. There's a delicious smorgasbord of food in front of you. Partake.
Oh yeah. All right. Signing out.
Peace.